The perspective transform command provides you a way to make a shape or a selection, a layer, appear to recede toward a vanishing point very easily. The catch to it is that vanishing point is by default, now you can change this of course, but by default it's going to be perfectly horizontal or perfectly vertical. So it's kind of a cheap effect at first. If you're trying to match something to an object that already has perspective, say in a photograph, I find myself often using distort and doing it one vertex at a time. But let's take a look specifically at perspective. So I'll jump down to Edit, go down to Transform, and turn on perspective. Once again, we get our transformation handles like we always do, and let's start off by dragging at one of the corners. Now I'm not holding down any hotkeys, but whatever I do on one side is automatically reflected in the other, and we've already got that sort of sense of perspective, of foreshortening. We can do the opposite down here. Now if I click and drag on the side handles, we can do something like this, so we can make this look like, you know, a road or a pathway that's kind of going off into the distance, like so. Now let's hit escape, and I'll jump down and re-invoke perspective. Of course, you can do the same thing vertically as well, so I can pull this up, pull down like so, maybe expand this, and there you go. Again, it's just giving that sort of receding look. It's just, you'll notice that the primary shape itself does appear by default to be perfectly vertical or perfectly horizontal, just receding into the distance. Now, you're not limited to that. You can start really kind of breaking this perspective as you start sliding different corners and start getting some pretty wild effects. Be aware, though, if you start going a little bit too extreme, you can get some warping in your final shape, and that can be a little bit problematic. So we'll go back and turn this on again. Now there are some hotkey modifiers specifically involving the Alt key, which, as with most of the transform tools, will cause you to start following your reference point. So if I hold down the Alt key and drag here on the side, you'll notice we are sliding that side, but we're doing it with the reference point in mind. So it's a little bit of it's a little crazy feeling, actually. Not something I find myself doing that often, but you can use that to your advantage if you need to work around a specific reference point on an image. So that's all there is to the perspective tool. It's just a way for you to simulate something receding into the distance by way of a vanishing point. That is going to wrap things up for this video. Thanks.